Right. What's going on, Twitch world? So kind of here doing this like first official, I guess, video here on Twitch, and gonna kind of explain why I decided to start streaming games or myself playing games, what my focus is, and kind of where I want to take this, and then just obviously a little bit about me. So I go by D. It's the easiest way to remember me. My last name is pronounced Ogis, so you see my Twitch name is DOGEES22. I'm a kid from New York. Uh, you know, currently now living in Philadelphia with my fiance, but uh, you know, gaming is something that's definitely been near and dear to my heart ever since I was little. Um, you know, I think it all started probably shoot. My first ever introduction to video games was the original Nintendo console and playing, games like Mario Brothers. The dodgeball game that was really really fun for the original Nintendo was awesome. What else did I play? Oh man, there's a couple other games out there. RBI baseball, but it was probably like three or four at the time. Played a bunch of those games growing up with my older brother, family members, and saw something I was really kind of into there. Um, the Nintendo era ended very quickly, as probably, you know what? I was probably like 2 or 3 years old now that I'm actually going back and thinking about it. Uh, my dumbass decided to put milk inside of my brother's Nintendo console because I thought the console was thirsty. Yikes. Yeah, he doesn't let me live that one down to this day. But that being said, great introduction to video games. Moved on to getting, the Sega Genesis, and my brother had the Sega Game Gear, and just playing, games like Sonic. The Punisher game was a really fun side scroller on there as well. Um, then kind of started getting my niche into sports games. So played a lot of Madden 95, 96 growing up. I remember being bet on to beat my cousins and older brother's friends because I was much better at Madden than they were. A lot of fun back in the day playing those games, and when I think back on it, it's crazy how far video games have come from, you know, about 25 years ago to now, and really started, getting into it more and more. Sega Game Gear was fun, except for the 6 batteries it needed. My parents were probably getting frustrated. I was probably taking batteries out of every remote control in order to, in order to power that thing up. That wouldn't last that long anyway. But played different games on there. If you remember like the X-Men game, if you remember Columns, just regular stuff as a kid growing up, playing all these games and really, starting to figure out what I liked. But I think what changed everything for me was when I got the PlayStation 1 for Christmas. The PlayStation 1 was it is probably my favorite console to this day because it opened my horizons to everything gaming. I remember when we first got it, I guess, my parents didn't realize you had to actually buy games for it, so it only had like the interactive CD sampler 4, which had a bunch of different demos on it. I probably played everything on there a whole bunch of times. That cube game where you had to like go up and down. There's a whole bunch of there was like a racing game on there. Armored Core was on there. That's a good one. But that was fun. And then, I remember going to GameStop, getting Madden for it, and coming back home and, just being a kid playing all these different games. NBA Live was a big one as well growing up. Too bad they could never recover as 2K is kind of taking over the basketball game there. But, a lot of fun going there. But, so I didn't have a Nintendo 64. I was obviously Team PlayStation at the time. And this is right here what changed it all. I remember a friend of mine in elementary school, we swapped consoles for about a weekend. And, I played Super Mario Brothers, Zelda, all the stuff on there. I gave him everything I had for the PlayStation at the time, and I remember when he gave my PlayStation back, he was like, "Yo, I got this game here. I really don't like it, but you can have it. Whatever like that. It was given to me as a gift, but I'm never gonna play it. Whatever. I don't really have a PlayStation." And that game was Final Fantasy VII. So imagine me at 9, 10 years old getting this game, and first of all, it's just super overwhelming because it's 3 discs. So I'm like, oh my god, like, how do you play a game that has 3 discs, and how do you get through it all? It's got to be insane. So I end up going ahead and start to kind of get on this journey. And I remember I remember the first memory of Final Fantasy VII for me was I can change the characters' names. That was like huge. I don't think any other game that I played it to that time on a console was allowing me to do that. So, go in and change the names of Cloud, Barrett, these other characters. But remind you, I'm 10 years old at the time at most, and this game is just ridiculously difficult for a 10-year-old. Um, you know, Number one, it's one of those things where you kind of have to play some of the other Final Fantasy to understand the battle mechanics and how the fighting system works and all that stuff, and what magic's good against who, all that stuff, and there's a lot to unpack when you're dealing with a game like that. And I remember I would always get to like the guard scorpion. I would always go ahead and beat the guard scorpion, start messing around in when you get to Sector 7 and the bar, Seventh Heaven, and all that stuff. And then I'd kind of would kind of get lost because I'm 10 years old. I don't know how to progress this game. I don't know the story. I don't know anything, and I'd start over again. So I'd go back and I'd play it again from that point. And I put it down for a little bit, and then I really remember saying, all right, you know let's go forward, because I still was intrigued to find out what the hell is going on in this story. I have to say, they gave a great guidebook where they showed you all the characters you could meet in the game, and you see Sephiroth, who's a badass in this, in the guidebook, and he has the beautiful sword, and you're like, yo, I want to get to that point. I need to get to that point. How do I get there? So I picked it up again, probably a couple months later, and I started playing it, and I started paying attention to everything. Probably my reading comprehension skills got a little better. So, side note to, if there's, younger viewers out there that don't know this, but the original Final Fantasy VII game, there was no voice acting. You had to read everything. So, you had to legit read everything, and I thought it was really unique to me in a game where I had to do so much of that, and I'd play the voices in my head. I have to say, I was pretty spot on once I watched Advent Children, and obviously played Final Fantasy VII Remake here. I thought they did a really good job of capturing those voices that I had in my head, which obviously is great. So I remember just going through the game and seeing Hell House for the first time. Getting to when you get to that open world map and you get to Calm Town, you start learning what the hell a chocobo is, and then you start getting summoning materia and all this stuff. And I remember, I'm 11 years old. I got stuck at a part again, and I must have grinded and fought everybody, and must have been level 45 to 50 by the time I hit Cosmo Canyon, which is just kind of ridiculous because I was just fighting everybody, going through it, buying tents, and just say, hey, I'm going to figure this out. So I saved the game, put it down for a while. There was actually a kid in our neighborhood who was a couple of years older than us, kind of saw him, and, he always was up on all the new games and all that stuff. And we'd always, meet at the arcade, which is around the corner from where I grew up. Arcade had Metal Slug. Actually, the bodega next to the arcade had Metal Slug, which was awesome. So I'd go in there and play that. And then it was a video rental store, like a mom and pop store, and they had Marvel vs. Capcom. So we'd go in there, we'd play Marvel vs. Capcom, and then I was like, yeah. And then I heard him talking about Final Fantasy VII, or actually, he was talking about Final Fantasy VIII. And I was like, well, I'm still on 7. I can't play 7 till I get to 8. I had no idea there was no obviously continuity between 7, 8 from the other games or whatever the case may be. And I went ahead and, talked to him. He was like, yo, I'll come by, like, let's see where you're at, whatever like that. So he comes by, he actually shows me, like, where to go next. So kind of put me on the correct path of the story. Kept playing. I was so happy when I got, like, you're getting, when you get to the point where you're about to go into, like, the Temple of the Ancients, and you're in all that stuff. And this game, the story just sparked everything in my imagination. It kept me wanting to go back for more. And I was like, yo, I didn't know video games could be like this. I never thought I'd be hooked on a video game and wanting to play something so much. And I just remember, for the next month or so, mind you, I'm in elementary school, guys. Like, I can't be playing up until 1 o'clock in the morning like I do now. So you got a bedtime. So I'd play and just be like, yo, this is crazy. I'd be like going in and kind of, diverting from the story a little bit. I didn't really have anybody to share those, like, accomplishments with as you get somewhere new, you gain a new weapon, as none of my friends are playing this. None of my friends in Brooklyn, New York were playing Final Fantasy VII. It was unheard of as as a black kid to be playing a JRPG. Like, it didn't register. Kids were, playing sports games if they were playing video games. Like, I was still very active. I played basketball majority of my whole life, and kids were just not into RPG games. They'd play the classics, like maybe Mario or fighting games. Street Fighter was really big in my neighborhood. So was like Marvel's Capcom, those type of games. But JRPGs were just nowhere. And obviously, doing research later, which the internet just helps you with, JRPGs weren't anywhere. So I didn't, now that I look back on it, I was just, I would like to say I was ahead of the curve on JRPGs there. So, nobody's playing this game, so I'm just going through it now. And I remember I had like a week off from school, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna beat this game. And I'll never forget, finally beat the game straight through. Didn't like fight any of the weapons or anything like that. Like, just like, I want to just keep going forward with the story, because it was like a movie I just couldn't get to the end of. And I remember I finally beat it, and that was probably like my first ever real video game accomplishment at the time. And it was like, yo, I've been spending like a year to beat this game, and finally it's over. And I don't know if people go through this with TV shows, but when something you totally find a connection to, whether it's a TV show, whether it's a comic book series, video game, whatever the case may be, you're like, all right, well, you have like an empty void, and you're like, all right, well, what do I play next? What do I do next? And you try. So I tried playing Final Fantasy VIII. I kid you not, I played it for an hour and a half. I went back to starting 7 over again. I was like, nah, there's probably stuff I missed. So I ended up going to 7. I remember I begged my mom to get me the actual like strat guidebook after I beat the game to see, oh my god, like what else is there and all that stuff. So Final Fantasy 7 was like my first real introduction to video games. Loved it. Made my life, totally changed my life when it came to that. And then I remember, beating games like Metal Gear Solid, different things like that. I started, playing a lot of single player games and just trying to, dive into these super deep, super rich stories and enjoy myself. It was just something that I was really into. And then, PlayStation, obviously was phased out. Ended up getting the original Xbox, played Halo, a couple other games on there, but the story has it, for me, ended up going away for high school. So I went to a boarding prep school for high school, which was awesome, great experience, but there was no video games there. Until like about my senior year, it ended up happening for 3 years, I really just played video games when I went home, and I was out the loop. It was like crazy. Like, I was just so not in tune with what new games, what was coming out. So I just didn't really pay much attention to it. I still play, NCAA football here and there. I guess like the last versions of NBA Live, some Madden stuff, and that'd be fine. And then my senior year, this is probably like point number 2 for me in gaming here, is I was my roommate my senior year was a kid from Germany. He was a soccer player, and that was 2006. Yeah, you can date me if you want to date how old I am now. Jesus. And he, his parents sent him FIFA '06 for his PC, and I never played any FIFA game before. Never played FIFA. Didn't know anything about FIFA. Never even played soccer in my life. Yo, that was fun. He like sat there. We legit played till 12 in the morning, 1 in the morning, and you had guys on my basketball team that played professionally overseas eventually in their lives, played high major Division 1 basketball, coming in and playing FIFA, and FIFA became like the thing. So we were all becoming really good at FIFA, and um, yeah, FIFA was just that was my first introduction to FIFA, and it's probably one of the few games I buy year over year, no matter what. FIFA is always in my rotation. You'll definitely see me on here playing FIFA. Definitely more of a franchise type of guy, trying to build a team. I like the aspect of that, but I'm thinking I'm gonna try to go through the seasons and see how far I can get and kind of test my FIFA talent. Um, you know, and then end up going to college. Same thing with college. You get to college and you're playing maybe sports games with your friends, but you're not really diving into gaming at that point. You're going out partying, doing whatever you want to do, trying to get through school. And I remember sports games were always cool with us, and that's when we saw the shift to NBA 2K happen from live to 2K. 2K just blew it out the water. I think '07, '08, and everybody was on 2K. Live was done, not in anybody's consoles. You couldn't find a copy of NBA Live on campus, and we all played 2K. And we, same thing as I was in high school. Like, we was up late playing 2K till super late at night. Everybody just talking shit, having a good time, and we all just enjoyed it. And it brought new people into our friendship circles. It broadened who we talked to and different things like that. And I think it just created an environment where everybody had something in common. So we did a lot of that. And then I remember I think the only person with a Nintendo Wii. End up getting Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which is like frowned upon in the Smash community. Totally understand, but I was not a rich kid growing up where I could have a GameCube with my Xbox and a PS2. It's not how it worked in my life. So I went ahead and I had bought Smash Bros. Brawl. It was cool, man. We ended up playing that, but I met even more friends that I didn't know that played Super Smash Melee. Till like the disc warped. I had no clue. So started learning how to play that. And then I became pretty good amongst my friends group of Super Smash Brothers. I actually went. It's funny. One of my buddies like convinced me to go to like local tournaments. I'll touch on him in a second. And we went to a bunch of local tournaments, and like 2 or 3 maybe, and we got our butts kicked. But it was fun to see this other side of gaming I never knew existed. Had no clue gaming. There was like $2,000 pot here, and whatever it was. I didn't know this existed. It was cool. You had people playing Modern Warfare on one side. You had Smash Brothers on the other side. Just crazy community of something that I just didn't know existed. So that was pretty cool. My buddy though, he's naturally good at every video game. I really hope he gets to see this and he takes a look, and I'm definitely giving him a huge shout out here. He was actually number 1 in the world in Fight Night Round 3 in the light heavyweight division, which is kind of insane because that game was played for years by so many people across the world. That's so remarkable. And we'd also like go to the Madden Challenge with him. He actually made it. This is when Madden Challenge, you actually had to go in person to your regional event and play, and you had to wait online all day to hopefully, win your match so you get to your second game or whatever the case may be. And, he made it all the way to, I believe the semifinals that year. That was the year rocket catching was a big thing in Madden. I want to say Madden '09 that was, or 10. I can't remember exactly, but he was nasty. And then I remember, while we're waiting, they had, Fight Night set up, obviously, it's an EA event, and he was just killing everybody in Fight Night. Like, he was showing that, not only could he play a game online, he was also even better in person because he showed no emotion. So He was amazing, big part. And then so this will kind of bring it kind of to like the last part of, I guess, end up getting an Xbox 360. And one of my other friends introduced me to the probably the third game that probably changed my whole gaming life, and that's Mass Effect. The Mass Effect trilogy. Oh my god! Like I've never. Yes, the ending sucked. I am gonna say that right now. Hated it. Um, was not a fan of everything, but the gameplay was great. The storyline was great. Decision making, um, and over the course of 3 games, they actually told a story that was never seen in gaming before. You'll definitely see me playing the remaster on here, or Legendary Edition as they're calling it. Once that drops in May, I'm definitely excited to play that, and hopefully I'll have, you know, hopefully some followers by then, which would be nice. But gonna go into that. But for gaming for me is very very simple, man. That was big, and then you know after Mass Effect, had to get a real job, had to work, kind of went away from gaming for a while. I had a PS3 and a PS4. My PS4, I'll tell you, I didn't really play much on it because I was always working out of college. You gotta pay them loans back somehow, and try to live on your own in New York, which is ridiculously expensive if anybody's ever tried that. Um, but you know, what ended up happening was, I guess I had like still played, I still played my FIFA here and there. I definitely I was not very good. I tried playing online, it wasn't great. Kind of just didn't really play it. 2K to me was getting played out. Just didn't really have much to play, and then obviously, all the rumors of Final Fantasy VII Remake got me excited about gaming again. Got a Nintendo Switch, so played Smash Ultimate a ton. And I think what kind of really got me back into gaming was COVID. I've worked from home for the last 3 years, but work really slowed down in the sports tech industry that I work in, and because a lot of things were just kind of on hold for a while, and you know, started playing again. Started really diving into Madden again. Started playing a ton more FIFA. Obviously, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think I've logged probably over 100 hours in here, just kind of playing and doing everything I can. I think I'm like 4 trophies away from platinuming it, and it's little stuff that we can actually go back and do, and we'll probably do that together on here. And I played a ton of that. Then recently started playing modern Warzone with my friends. I'm not really great at first-person shooters, but they're a lot of fun when you're playing with your friends, and I think it goes back to just that community that gaming brings, and brings everybody together. We're on there, everybody's kind of playing games and having a good time, and I'm playing with my boys that I can't see that I want. Like, I haven't seen a bunch of my friends because of COVID, so going on here and playing, it makes it a lot of fun for me and gives us another level to interact besides memes and Instagram messaging. So that takes me here, and I guess what I can do right now is just kind of run through the quick just a quick first level of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and we'll run through it, and we'll go ahead and see what we can do. So we'll go into a load game here. Let's see, actually, let's go options. Yeah, I guess we can do it this way. So what we'll do is we'll hop in real quick, and then I'll go to just the first, I guess, chapter, which on hard mode, which I guess I can still easily do. I played a little bit recently, but super excited for the news for the added chapter, and obviously all the PS5 upgrades that are coming with that, which should be kind of dope. So let's go to chapter selection. Let's just go do this really quick here. All right. If I die, don't judge me. I really haven't played that much in front of people, but we'll rock out and see how I do. But yeah, this is wild. I remember the the tech demo they released on the PS3 for this, and I was like, yo, if that comes out for PS3, it's probably the only reason I bought a PS3. I was actually thinking it was actually going to come out for PS3, and obviously that didn't, and we had to wait another 6 years probably from that tech demo, or 7 years, or whatever the number is there. And I just remember, you know, them officially saying it's coming out and holding out hope that it wouldn't get pushed back and all that stuff. And I'm super grateful this came out during COVID because work got slow. I definitely would not have got any work done if this came out. I have to like make some sacrifices there because this is something that I actually did play. I actually great thing that PlayStation obviously does is let you preload the game. So I remember at 12:01 I went active on it. I probably had to clear out my entire PS4 hard drive because it's 100 gig file, and you know I thought it was great, man. A lot of people had a lot of issues with the game, obviously, with the direction. I think, Square was very sneaky by saying remake and not saying remaster because, they did change some stuff to the story. I'm guessing I'm not spoiling anybody, but that ending where you actually fight Sephiroth at the end here before you actually would get to what the open world map would be is just kind of insane, and, they did a great job. So this game was fun. Loved the combat system. Thought it was great, and thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I probably played it through maybe 3 times now. Spent a lot of time on the VR missions and trying to perfect that because to me that was like awesome that you can go in there and fight all these bad guys and stuff. But let's see how we do.
Halt! Who goes there?
You're up.
Also, when you first play through and Cloud levels up after this first fight, it's kind of ridiculous. Just crazy. Would be kind of cool if they dropped some potions here, like on the original guys, but can't have it all, I guess, right? But this looks like I don't think people understand how amazing this game looks and feels. It's free on PlayStation Plus now, so I hope people that didn't get a chance to play it or buy it get a chance to kind of go in and play it. But we'll go in here and we'll just kind of really dispose of these guys really quick here. If anybody has like materia questions set up and stuff like that, I can show you kind of what I have, but not a big deal. It's probably pretty standard right now. Traditionally play with the hard edge sword. It's great.
Can't get surrounded.
And I do have the automatic limit break on right now as one of my accessories just because I was probably messing around when last time I was playing, so but we can just kind of run through here and like these cutscenes are crazy because when I was 10, 11 years old and playing this, these cutscenes are just
what was his name again?
Cloud Strife.
You never imagined this would actually come to life. Like they were basically like 3D figures that had edges to everything. They didn't really even have hands for the most part while all this is going on. So
we're done.
Love the emotion they drove into the characters here, and you get the feeling of Cloud just being kind of just in it for the money. Like, he doesn't really have a joy for it. He doesn't really care what he's doing. He's like, I'm about to collect this paycheck. I'm good. It's no 9 to 5 to him, not going to die. And I love, you see how, obviously, after he reconnects with Tifa and then he gets to, Aerith, they open up his eyes to what's really going on the planet. And, it's crazy how he's like working for a group of eco-terrorists trying to save the planet from people overusing resources. Definitely something we see today in the world. So we'll go through here. I'll skip this and we'll go to the next one here as we can just run around here. Just want to kind of get through Guard Scorpion for y'all and then we'll go from there. So
Get him, boy.
This is fun. Quick triple slash there.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Oh yeah. So what's funny is that I actually played through on hard mode
Nothing to it.
when I first played hard mode, and I actually did not have the second elemental materia, which I didn't realize existed until I was watching somebody else's stream, and I was like, wait, how the hell did you get two elemental materias? Had no clue, so I had to go back, and apparently I think I had just totally just forgot about it and didn't do the side mission for it, so gotta actually level that up. I think it's the only materia I have not leveled up, so I guess this gives me a little motivation to kind of level that up and always have that ready to go. So we'll kind of run through here,
This way.
see what's going on. Oh,
Not so fast. You
guess
got
what?
Company.
Gotta fight somebody else now. So we'll run through here really quick
Think you can stop
and okay. Triple slash in there. We'll switch to Punisher mode. Quick little Fury. And we'll take care of it. Nice and easy, right?
Not bad.
So so also Final Fantasy wise, funny, which I kind of didn't share in my little bio there in gaming. Definitely played through Crisis Core, borrowed a friend's PSP, and only played it for Crisis Core while I was like commuting into the city for work. So it might have been a couple years after it came out, but definitely enjoyed that. And I think that's obviously the feel of the battle system is a little bit derived from that. Obviously, this is way more in depth, and this is what you would envision Cloud feeling like using a sword. So we'll skip this little cutscene right here. I've actually thought about speedrunning this first level because I do know it fairly well, but respect to speedrunners out there, man. I don't know how y'all do that on camera, on live stream. That's a lot of pressure. Y'all are beasts in this game. So, everything has to be like frame and pixel perfect, and I don't think I have the mental capacity to do that. I like to enjoy my games a little bit, so. But we'll get rid of these guys really quickly here.
It's over.
That's my line.
He's alone. We can take him. Take it, Ray.
Raver.
You've got this. See ya.
There we go. And we'll let our friends back in.
Let's move.
He always knows just what to say.
So we'll go ahead and hopefully get through this. Oh man, got people hit me up to play Warzone already. Don't worry, I'll be on Warzone in a second,
I
bro.
know someone who can get us the passcodes. Pity no one else at command will talk to us, but what can you
So
do?
I'll hop in and I'll run through this pretty quickly. Hopefully I don't die to the guard scorpion. That'd be kind of embarrassing on my first official
So, you
Twitch
know
video
Tifa,
in a
right?
game that I've
It's
been
not
saying I
really my
love so
business,
much.
but are you...
Alright, so we'll just hop right in here really quickly. Maybe I'll do an episode each chapter and kind of go through it that way. I think that might be a good way to go through Final Fantasy VII Remake. So this is fun when Barrett joins your party here, and you get to just shoot him.
These tin cans ain't got
Boom,
nothing
boom,
on
boom.
me. Now for the real show.
Focus shot, boom, and we'll just take care of him. We'll have Cloud, Classic Quick Thunder, take care of that. Cloud, come here, and we'll finish with Triple Slash. Boom. Nice and easy, right? So we'll head down here.
Look what we have here.
The laser security system. Great.
So this part's always cool here with the laser system. Obviously something very unique to they didn't really have. So I guess when you count the part where you're going into the crater in the original Final Fantasy VII, where you're getting hit by the wind and the lightning, which is always pretty wild.
Okay,
always got knocked off of that as a child. I was very impatient playing video games.
You're doing good, soldier.
Ow.
Pretty easy, right?
There we go.
Nice job, Cloud.
We just skip right through. We don't need that health.
I'm glad that's
Look. They don't call those things sweepers for nothing. They can wipe out a whole
So this
squad
is
in
cool how they kind of made the sweepers into like this mini boss that you encounter a couple times throughout the
We can
game.
take this hunk of junk.
So we'll go in
That
here
hunk of junk is a heavy
and we'll
weapons
go
platform. If we
Barrett,
rush in,
dun, 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 there, boom.
we need to hit it with magic. That should give us an opening.
Funny enough, I think, you know, part of the battle system they took here was from, I want to say Final Fantasy 13 with lightning, and how, you know, how they had the whole stun and stagger, which makes it a lot of fun. So it gives you, you know, a little moment there to kind of build up that gauge, go in, fight. I love on a hard mode how they still give you items when you win fights, when you can't use items at all. So I don't understand how that works, or why they would give me items.
Not your goddamn rank.
You'll probably see I have everything probably as maximum as possible, but you know, can't do nothing about that. So we'll go through here. So it's funny when I think about people speedrunning this level. I've watched like people speedrun the entire game, and it's always amazing how people find like glitches and things that are broken in the game, and you know, go down to the core of the game, and you know, they're just rolling through and
That's our target.
essentially
The
skip an
reactor
entire level
Gotta set
in
the bomb
dodge
at
mode.
the
Like
bar.
that's hard work, man, and to keep that going. And I love the speedrunning community because to me what it seems like is somebody finds something out and they're always willing to share it with other speedrunners of the same game, so that, you know, the playing field is always kind of balanced and everybody can kind of work together in order to kind of break a game.
I've been dreaming about this for years.
So we'll go down here. This is an easy battle here. We'll go Cloud // Barrett will just look up and we'll hit him with overcharge. So we'll go down here now.
We sink right down to the bottom.
No need to go that way. And we'll get rid of Fight Guard Scorpion in a second here.
How comforting.
So obviously, this is, you know, when the demo came down for this game, I kind of beasted through it a couple of times, and they made this boss battle everything it could be, everything and more, because it was a fairly simple battle in the first game. Just watch out for the tail laser. This is like
All
super
right.
interactive,
Let's see if
and
little Stamp really can bite the
you know,
hand.
you gotta really be on your P's and Q's here and do your thing. So
Pretty cocky, ain't you?
we'll go through here.
How the hell do we fight this thing?
It's got reinforced armor plated, but the internals can be overloaded. Lightning magic.
That.
No other option, huh? Fine. The hell is this?
A target lock. Look
Make
out.
sure I get my Fury on. There, go ahead. Cloud, quick focus thrust there.
Keep it up.
Barrett, focus shot. Oh wow, okay, got a quick stagger there. Alright, so I didn't royally screw up the first part of the battle. So we'll see where we get to here now.
The hell is that?
This is a
Never
fun
seen this defense system before.
one. Okay,
Thought you were the expert.
we'll go around him
Brilliant plan.
here. And we'll set fire to. Oh wow, I don't have any.
Go down in flames.
That's not good.
Taking over.
Okay, we'll go here.
Don't overdo it.
Yes, it's my turn.
No escape.
Oh no.
Focus on that core.
Oh, now he remembers. Don't keep me waiting in suspense next time.
And we'll just hit another Fire Arga here.
Calling fire. Now, hit it hard.
I think I
and
hit it.
fast.
There we go.
You're in for it now.
Just shoot.
smart on my part. We'll go there. Let's see if we can get him staggered again.
Deal with that.
And then we'll go with a little bit focus shot here. Come back around.
Don't overdo it.
There we go. Got that second stagger. So come in here. Actually, let's go. Maximum Fury. So that should put us in a good spot here for Tail Laser. Okay. So yeah, the first time I played this on hard mode, had no idea he double shot the laser. Definitely died. I was like, I just died and I had all my power ups.
You don't want to be hit by that laser.
I should have switched to Barrett there to get a quick thunder in, but missed that opportunity.
Take cover behind
So we'll
that
come
debris.
here. And then we'll run over.
Deal with that.
So Barrett's now good over there. Cloud, let's hit him with that.
Strike now before it fires again.
Do that. And we'll roll out of that. Oh, missed it. We'll go back there. I'll go to Barrett. Kind of hit him up here. Should be getting him into his next mode now. His final rehealing mode.
Sure could use a break.
And one more. That should do it right there. Damn. I am miscalculating this. Boom. And since we're on stream, I guess we can hit him with a limit break just kind of end the fight here, which would be a nice way to go out. So as Scorpion is something crazy.
What's it doing now?
An auto repair unit.
Let's go here.
We gotta take it out quick or we're screwed.
And we'll take him out. Boom. Was a little disappointed there was no Omni Slash in this game.
Spot an opening.
Obviously, because that's like the staple Cloud move, whether you're using him in Final Fantasy VII, whether you're using him in Smash Brothers, you know, whatever the case may be. But they're probably going to save that for the open world map. And I really hope in Remake Part 2 that you have to do it by winning one of those mini games with the Golden Saucer. That'd be cool. So, hopefully. So, we'll let this rock out real quick here. And then once I race out of here, we'll be done. So we'll go here. I will quickly head up these damn stairs. Oh. And we'll go this way.
Give me a break.
Oh god, these guys are annoying me. Triple slash them all.
Let's go.
Down. It's crazy the effects of the tail laser you see on the background and all that stuff. Like, they did a great job. I can't wait till the photo mode update comes out too. That's gonna be kind of cool to kind of hopefully see things that you haven't really seen in the game before because you're obviously playing it. Maybe you can stop, get a quick snapshot. So that should make it fun. Also intrigued to the I guess it's like the team up moves that they kind of demoed with Yuffie there in that demo. That should be kind of fun, right? So hopefully we get that done.
You okay?
So we'll go here.
Do I look okay? Help a girl out!
Obviously, flashback to Jesse's scene in
Probably.
the original game.
I think I see an exit. Come on.
Let's go this way.
Don't look back. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We're running
think what my plan's gonna be is obviously stream through this and
Sorry, it just...
maybe a chapter a day of Final Fantasy VII Remake. That'd be kind of fun to do on hard mode. We'll definitely start streaming some FIFA, which would be great. We'll probably touch more on my sports background as we look at FIFA. Definitely here to talk sports and
There it!
kind of shoot the shit with y'all. I'm a big hoops fan. I work in the world, so would love to talk basketball 24/7. I probably do most of the time anyway, without even knowing. Would love to do that.
Soldier boy.
Soccer-wise, little, I guess I can touch on it. I'm a huge Manchester United fan, even though we kind of sucked recently and can't win anything. And yeah, we're just going through a whole rebuilding phase, I like to say. But, hopefully I can use my sports background to get some interesting people on here and, get them to kind of come on here and talk about their lives. I think I realized through gaming as well that I've met a lot of interesting people that do various different things in life, and definitely be cool to get them to kind of talk about whether friends that I have that are in the stock market, friends that I have that are lawyers, that are nurses, or whatever the case may be. It'd be really cool to have them kind of hop on and talk about a little about their lives and just how they still game and how they got to the point. I think it could be, the gaming community can be so much more than just gaming. It can be something way bigger. I feel like we can all help each other succeed and network and everybody just help each other win. I think it kind of shows like what happened with the Reddit GameStop fiasco with the stock, basically, them basically going in and buying this stock and basically pump and dumping it. I think this is definitely something that we can use this platform to kind of help each other out, and everybody can make some money off of it. So we'll see. Alright, we'll get rid of him real quick. We'll go up here. Almost out of here.
Concentrate.
I'll end this. Let's go here.
You're done.
Triple slash there. Fury. Him down. And that one. I kind of messed that up there, but it's okay. We'll go up here.
Don't overdo it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Alright. Cool.
Not bad.
So we'll get to here. Once I get to the outside, we'll save here and hopefully be back on again. Also, would love to hear from other people on Twitch. How do you all stream? What do you use? I see there's a bunch of other streaming platforms out there that you can use to like elevate your Twitch stream. Before I go in and start subscribing to stuff and buying stuff, would love to hear if anybody has any reviews on anything as well, on what to use, and how to make it as fire as possible.
Believe me, you'd be the first to know.
Since it's all about interaction, so. Alright, well, guess we got this done here. I'll save this. But, for the few people that hopped in, took a listen, make sure you follow. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. Just, kind of give me some feedback on what games to play, what should I do next, what should I talk about. I'm pretty open to talking about anything. I love to talk, so We come in here and talk about life, talk about, anything that's on your mind, whether it's gaming related, sports related, whatever the case may be. So, thank you for tuning in, y'all. Have a good one.